Good evening. This is Akashvani. I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to the United States and Egypt for 5-day visit. Prime Minister Modi says peace and tranquility in border areas is essential for normal bilateral ties with China, says India fully prepared and committed to protect its sovereignty and dignity. 9th International Day of Yoga to be celebrated across the globe tomorrow. Prime Minister Modi to lead celebration at United Nations headquarters in New York. Government orders deployment of central team in heat wave affected states. And world-famous Rath Yatra begins in Puri in Odisha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route to the United States and Egypt for a 5-day visit. In his departure statement, the Prime Minister said the visit will be an opportunity to enrich the depth and diversity of the India-US partnership. He said India-US ties are multifaceted with deepening engagements across sectors, and the USA is India's largest trade partner in goods and services. The Prime Minister's visit will commence in New York, where he will lead the celebrations of the International Day of Yoga at the United Nations headquarters. Mr. Modi will receive a ceremonial welcome at the White House in Washington on Thursday and hold talks with President Biden to continue their high-level dialogue. The U.S. President and First Lady will host a state dinner in honor of the Prime Minister in the evening. Prime Minister Modi will also address a joint sitting of the U.S. Congress during his visit. Mr. Modi is scheduled to have several curated interactions with leading CEOs, professionals and other stakeholders. He will also meet members of the Indian diaspora. Prime Minister Modi will travel to Cairo to pay a state visit to Egypt on the 24th and 25th of this month at the invitation of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The Prime Minister said he is very excited to pay a visit to a close and friendly country for the first time. Prime Minister Modi has said that peace and tranquility in the border areas is essential for normal bilateral ties with China. In an interview to the U.S. daily newspaper Wall Street Journal, Mr. Modi said India has a core belief in respecting sovereignty and territorial integrity, observing the rule of law and peaceful resolution of differences and disputes. He said India is fully prepared and committed to protect its sovereignty and dignity. We have a report.
Prime Minister said all countries should respect international law and the sovereignty of countries, and disputes should be resolved with diplomacy and dialogue, not war. He said India will do whatever it can and supports all genuine efforts to bring an end to the conflict and ensure peace and stability. Mr. Modi said India is not neutral and is on the side of peace. The world has full confidence that India's topmost priority is peace. During the interview, Prime Minister Modi described the trust between the US and India as unprecedented. He said India deserves a much higher, deeper and wider profile and a role. Mr. Modi stated that India is not supplanting any country, but it is gaining its rightful position in the world. With Deependra's report, R.S. Raghu for Akashvani News, Delhi.
The 9th International Day of Yoga will be celebrated across the globe tomorrow. This year's theme for the day is Yoga for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which indicates the Indian socio-cultural heritage. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead the global celebration of yoga at the United Nations headquarters in New York in the United States. More than 180 countries are expected to join the event to show their commitment towards yoga. In his message on International Yoga Day, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said, in a dangerous and divided world, the benefits of this ancient practice is particularly precious.
Yoga unites. It unites body and mind, humanity and nature, and millions of people across the globe for whom it is a source of strength, harmony and peace. It can reduce anxiety and promote mental well-being. It helps us to develop discipline and patience. On this International Day of Yoga, let us embrace the spirit of unity and resolve to build a better, more harmonious world for people, planet and ourselves.
The national celebration will be led by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar at Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. About 15,000 people are expected to participate in the main event. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will join Indian Navy personnel to perform yoga on board aircraft carrier INS Vikrant in Kochi. Armed Forces personnel, including Agniveers, will also participate in the event, embracing the spirit of unity and well-being. At the national level this year, International Day of Yoga will try to achieve Har Angan Yoga by enabling observation of yoga at village level. In a letter to village sarpanches, Prime Minister Modi has appealed them to celebrate yoga with their villagers in full strength. This year, International Day of Yoga will witness unique features like Ocean Ring of Yoga, where Indian Navy and merchant ships will organize common yoga protocol demonstration at port and vessels of the friendly countries in different oceans. To commemorate the occasion, the Yoga Day celebrations will be held at Mina Rashid Port in Dubai. INS Brahmaputra will dock at the port, bringing with it a contingent of over 200 sailors who will actively participate in the celebrations. UAE Minister of State for Foreign Trade, Dr. Sani bin Zayudi, will be the chief guest at the event. In a pioneering initiative, the Indian Embassy in the Sultanate of Oman introduced an innovative video called Soulful Yoga Serene Oman on the eve of the day. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the centre with a whole-of-government approach is poised to make the Indian economy worth 2.5 thousand lakh crore rupees in the next 25 years. Mr. Goyal was addressing the media at party headquarters in New Delhi today. He said India has continued to maintain a robust economy despite the global challenges of depression, recession and inflation.
एक विकसित देश 2047 तक बने, विश्व में जो आज भारत का स्थान है, हर दृष्टिकोण से सामाजिक, आर्थिक, इन सब दृष्टिकोण को देखते हुए पूरी सरकार प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में एकजुट होकर भारत को आज की $3.5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी यानी 250 लाख करोड़ रुपए की इकोनॉमी को अगले 25 वर्ष में 2,500 लाख करोड़ 35 ट्रिलियन डॉलर की इकोनॉमी बनाने के काम को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today said India has emerged as the fifth largest economy and is the fastest growing economy in the world. Speaking at a public meeting organised by the Tamil Nadu State BJP at Tambaram near Chennai this evening, the Defence Minister said India has grown from procuring weapons to a self-sufficient country to manufacture defence weapons. He said Prime Minister Narendra Modi continues to give priority to Tamil Nadu in implementing developmental projects. Union Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari today inaugurated 11 flyovers from Delhi to Panipat on the 8-lane National Highway 44 worth 890 crore rupees at Sonipat in Haryana. The project also includes a 6-lane service road on both sides. Mr. Nitin Gadkari at the spot approved the demand of constructing rail over bridges and rail under bridges at a cost of 300 crore rupees under Setu Bharatam Yojana. The Supreme Court today said elections cannot be a license for violence as it dismissed the Mamata Banerjee government's petition challenging the deployment of central forces in West Bengal for the local body polls on the 8th of July. The Apex Court said they appreciate that the state has a democratic setup for elections from top to bottom, but the elections cannot be followed by violence. The West Bengal government and the State Election Commission had challenged the Calcutta High Court's order directing central forces for security during the Panchayat polls. The top court said the tenor of the High Court order is to ensure free and fair elections. The Election Commission today published the draft proposal for delimitation of assembly and parliamentary constituencies for Assam. The Commission said the procedure for the delimitation process has been followed as laid down in the relevant laws of the Delimitation Act. It said all assembly and parliamentary constituencies in the state are to be delimited on the basis of the 2001 census. The number of seats in the Legislative Assembly has been retained at 126 and in the House of People in the state at 14. Manipur is slowly returning to normalcy. The combined security forces have been conducting combing operations in different outskirts and sensitive areas. No untoward incident was reported today. Schools will reopen from Saturday. A delegation of ministers, MLAs of BJP and its coalition parties of Manipur met the General Secretary Organization of the BJP today at Delhi. In Assam, over 34,000 people are affected due to floods across 16 districts. However, no casualty has been reported so far due to floods. We have a report.
The surging waters submerged large crop areas as well as damaged infrastructures at several districts in Assam. 25 persons are taking shelter at a temporary relief camp in Kokrajhar district. 24 relief distribution centers are also being operated by the district administrations at various places. Along with floods, land erosion and landslides at various places have also been reported. The State Disaster Management Authority has instructed people staying in the riverine areas not to venture into rising waters and also avoid fishing and swimming. Manas Pratim Sharma, Akashvani News, Guwahati.
Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot today conducted an aerial survey of Cyclone Biparjoy affected areas of Barmer and Jalore districts. He took stock of the situation at Chortan in Barmer, Sanchor in Jalore and Abu Road in Sirohi. He interacted with the people in the affected areas. 6 persons have lost their lives in rain-related incidents. More from our correspondent.
Along with the army, 17 teams of SDRF and 8 teams of NDRF are engaged in relief and rescue operations. According to the primary assessment, about 9,000 houses, more than 250 school buildings have been damaged. Power supply has been affected in many villages and towns due to the uprooting of more than 10,000 electric poles and transformers. The district administrations have been directed to restore water supply in the villages, repair roads and help the affected families. Jitendra Dwivedi, Akashvani News, Jaipur.
Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia today chaired a high-level review meeting on public health preparedness regarding heat waves across the country. Briefing media after the meeting in New Delhi, Dr. Mandavia said it was decided that a 5-member team of the Health Ministry, the Indian Meteorological Department and the National Disaster Management Authority will visit the states which are affected by the heat waves. He said Odisha, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Telangana, Bihar and Jharkhand are now witnessing heat wave conditions.
जिस राज्य में हीट वेव चल रहा है और हीट स्ट्रोक की घटना घटित हुई है, ये राज्य में राज्य को सहयोग करने के लिए भारत सरकार की ओर से एक डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, IMD और हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री के उच्च अधिकारियों की टीम जाएगी और राज्य सरकार को सहयोग करेगी। कल सभी स्टेट के डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के साथ जुड़े हुए ऑफिसर्स, मिनिस्टर्स के साथ भी VC करके बातचीत करूंगा ताकि हीट वेव के सामने हम असरकारक एक्शन ले सकें।
The world-famous annual Rath Yatra or Chariot Festival began at Puri in Odisha this afternoon. This is one of the most awaited Hindu festivals in the country. The festival began with idols of Lord Jagannath and his 2 siblings, elder brother Lord Balabhadra and younger sister Devi Subhadra, appearing before the public in 3 majestically decorated chariots while on their way on a 9-day sojourn to their aunt's place, Gundicha temple. Around 10 lakh devotees thronged the pilgrim city to catch a glimpse of the deities on chariots. More from our correspondent.
Despite all possible efforts, all 3 chariots were stopped on their way to Saradabali as they did not reach their destination before sunset. The pulling of the chariots would resume tomorrow morning. The deities will stay at Gundicha temple before returning to Bahuda Yatra on 28th of this month. Devotees from all walks of life have been making a beeline to the town since yesterday to catch a glimpse of the presiding deities of the 12th century scene of Lord Jagannath. S.N. Patnaik for Akashvani News.
The President, Vice President and Prime Minister have greeted people on the occasion. Union Home Minister Amit Shah took part in the 146th Rath Yatra of Ahmedabad in Gujarat. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to the United States and Egypt for a 5-day visit. Prime Minister Modi says peace and tranquillity in border areas essential for normal bilateral ties with China, says India fully prepared and committed to protect its sovereignty and dignity. 9th International Day of Yoga to be celebrated across the globe tomorrow. Prime Minister Modi to lead celebration at United Nations headquarters in New York. Government orders deployment of central team in heat wave affected states. And world famous Rath Yatra begins in Puri in Odisha. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.